All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Culture Kitchen. My name is Simon, and this is VIU's weekly online cooking show. And today's edition, I've got a friend with me. Her name is Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Come on in.
Hello.
So Jennifer is originally from Colombia, and she's going to be making one of the most classic Colombian foods, and that's arepas.
That's right.
Welcome to
Very
Culture Kitchen, Jen. And we can do a little bit of Spanish language stuff as we go, here and there, a bit of vocabulary. But yeah, so we're in the same bubble as you see, which is fun. It's not something we get to do too often. I don't get to see students in person, but Jen's my friend, and so she's come over to help with the show tonight. All right, Jen, why don't you take it away and explain to everybody what arepas are?
Sounds good. Well, good evening. So here we are, all the way in Canada, and today we're gonna make and show you how to make arepas. So first of all, arepa is the kind of simple food that people have in the mornings for breakfast. They could have it for a snack. They could have it on a Sunday afternoon when they go to a park in a small town or anywhere pretty much as a kind of street food is also considered.
Awesome.
So arepas are made out of corn flour and it's more likely pre-cooked, already sort of a little bit of a processed flour. You can have very fresh arepa made out of like just grind up corn, either fresh yellow corn or white corn. In this case today, we're going to be using white corn. And this one is called harina pan. And all you do is you basically, you pretty much get it anywhere in Canada nowadays. And you put maybe if it's just for you want to make a little arepa in the morning, and kind of in a rush, maybe you don't want to be too sophisticated, don't want to put too many things inside or within the masa.
Well, there's the Spanish word. Masa is the dough.
That's right, masa. So you pour like about a cup in a bowl. So we're going to do that. We have our bowl here.
And I know, Jen, because you grew up making arepas and eating arepas, you don't measure. You just do it by eye.
Yes, that's correct. But in this case, if you happen to wonder how much am I going to be using today, we're going to use about an average of a cup for this flour. And that's probably around there.
Okay. So just to show everybody, see it's a powder, so it's corn flour. And as Jen said, you can get it like it's common these days in Canada at grocery stores, but I know in Nanaimo, definitely Superstore and Fairway Market have it, among other places probably.
Yes. So, like I mentioned, if you want to make a very sophisticated arepa, you will grind some cheese. You could use feta cheese to simulate sort of like the kind of a cheese of the coast of Colombia, which is a very kind of a salty cheese. And in that case, you wouldn't even put any salt. But today we're going to put a little bit of salt to make it just as simple as, for you to do it quick in the morning. If you have a place to go, a place to be in the morning, easy as just the masa, and you put a little bit of salt.
Do you want? We have two different kinds of salt on offer today, Jen. Pink Himalayan salt or your regular table salt. Which is better for this? Or which do you want to use today?
I mean, both are really good salts, and more likely you'll go with the Himalayan pink salt. Well, you can also just add in a little bit of flavor. At this point, like I said, you can even cook it plain, and then perhaps when you make it, you can add some other extra goodies to put inside, maybe an egg or, But at this point, let's just use some of the Himalayan.
Okay.
And now these comes in a bit of a thicker ground. It doesn't matter because eventually we're going to add a little bit of warm water, and that will make the, salt sort of like melt. And
just kind of do it to taste.
Exactly. So that's
warm water.
Salt, and then.
Should I boil water or just warm from the tap?
No, you can do warm from the top. Okay. If you happen to use just recently boiled water, make sure it gets a little cooler. You don't want to burn your hands.
So just tap water is fine.
Yes. And then so when you put in the water, you put in the water very slow into the bowl.
Let's bring the camera over there. There's a technique. So a slow You slowly add the water to the flour.
Slowly start adding the water. You don't want to put the, like just gushing of water in here, or else you ended up having too much water. But you literally start kind of feeling the your dough, and you start feeling like it's a bit dry and sticky. But the kind of a texture you want is just a little bit sticky but soft, almost like you have kind of a Play-Doh texture, which most of the people will, be familiar a little bit with Play-Doh texture. Yep.
So, Jen, I have a controversial question for you.
Ooh.
Are arepas from Venezuela or Colombia originally?
Well,
I know it's controversial because I've been to Venezuela and I've heard the I'd say the confidence in Venezuelans that it comes from Venezuela. But then I've asked Colombian friends here and they say, oh no. So, what's your take on it?
Well, we don't want to get too into we don't want to upset anybody.
Yeah.
These days, but we definitely I want to say that arepa is a very typical kind of food from both countries, Colombia and Venezuela. Although Venezuela have definitely become a little bit more, I would say, more popular with the kind of stuffing of the arepa and what ingredients and names to use to kind of present the arepa with all kinds of different stuff to put inside. But I believe that it doesn't really matter where does it come originally. Colombia and Venezuela were one country at one point, so we shared lots of culture. We shared a lot of same things. So at this point, I can say, yeah, sure, maybe Venezuelans are arepas come from Venezuela. Let's give them a little bit of
give
that.
Give them a little bit of something, yeah.
Yeah, we'll give them a little something, especially.
But one thing's for sure, it's very widespread and like everyday thing in both countries, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
What I heard is like exactly what you said about that. There's some different variations. Like in Venezuela, they're a bit more creative, maybe, or out there with the toppings and fillings. Where Colombians often like a more classic arepa.
Yes.
Excuse me, I gotta have that R.
Yes, and really, the most important thing is be able to enjoy an arepa and the fact that it's such an easy little meal to make and enjoy with your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and
It's basically like how Canadians might have like eggs and toast, or like toast or bread is such a common thing. Where for Colombians and Venezuelans, it's the arepa. It's kind of your toast equivalent.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we have these kind of idea of a meal or kind of a dish all around, Latin America, where there's corn.
Yeah, there's corn
like,
in something.
Central Americans call them pupusas, and they most of the time they will be stuffed up with cheese and beans.
Yeah.
And then if you go higher up from Central America, you have your tortillas in Mexico, which everybody knows what the tortilla, right? They make this sound. Yeah. But so basically, here what we're having is a bit of kind of a sticky, some people will even go as far as putting butter, because they want already sort of that flavor inside the dough, but it's not really necessary. So basically, once you have your dough kind of, it's kind of a sticky, and you can really sort of
so you do have to put it does take a bit of labor really to get that texture right.
Yeah.
I mean, you get used to it. It's not a lot, but it's like
it's not a lot.
It's not. It's
but yeah, you gotta get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
And you gotta get your hands in there. And a lot of people don't like that, right? They don't have that.
Well, I guess the thing is too, if you're just making a couple, it's not bad. But if you're making for a party, you could be doing that for a while.
Yes. Well, the good thing about arepas is that you can use almost all the corn flour from that bag and be able to like pre-make them and put them in the freezer, you know, and then it will be like you don't have
that's
to.
the flour again. I gotta readjust our angle here.
Yeah, and
Hang
you
on.
don't have to really cook them, put them in the freezer, but you basically make them now, right?
Like you form them.
You form them, yes. Oh yeah, so now the one part very important thing is that you use something, you know, like a flat sort of like station to work with. You want to use some paper or something, maybe some people even use a
Wax
bag.
paper or plastic bag.
Wax paper, plastic bag, simple as that, to make sure it doesn't get stuck to the the surface that you're gonna be using to make your arepa.
Alright. So for folks just tuning in, this is Culture Kitchen, VIU's weekly online cooking show. My friend Jen is joining me here. So we're in the same bubble. She's my friend. Normally it's students and we're in 2 different locations.
Yeah.
But Jen's originally from Colombia. And what city, by the way?
Well, I'm originally from the city of Bucaramanga, and that is on the northeast of Colombia.
And I believe one of our advisors, kind of a famous character around VIU International Department, Enrique Chacon, fellow Colombian, he's from Bucaramanga, if I remember correctly. So, I don't know, you might have a conversation one day. And of course, whenever there's a chance, he represents Colombia at our cultural events with salsa lessons. And I don't know if he does cumbia, but definitely he's taught our new students salsa. And he's, not that this is Colombian, well, wait, Despacito. He is saying Despacito. I know one guy's from Puerto Rico. Is there a Colombian involved? No. So Puerto Rico. Anyway, that's just reminding me of those days. Coffee around the world and the impromptu singing in our lobby. All right, so we're making arepas. I'm going to check the stream for any commentary, see if anybody's... Just have a couple people watching live. I don't see anything yet. If you have any questions for Jen or for me, feel free to ask. I'll watch the feed here. So yeah, is it almost time to get those on the pan?
Well, yes. Now at this point, once you start, building your arepas, which is almost like, you want like a bit of a circle, decent circle, like a little pancake, I would say, in width, sort of like, not too thin, too thick. But at this point, you're still warming up your pan, and more likely you want to use a non-stick pan, and let's use the non-stick paper or surface where you're building your arepa.
Yeah,
And,
let's get the angle there. Let's check out the arepa that you formed. Whoa.
We have two
Hard to
right
see.
here.
There they are. They do look like pancakes.
And yes, exactly, they look like pancakes. So now at this point, like I said, this is a very simple, simple, easy, straight, water, salt, and the flour. And but again, I say, if you want cheese or something, you want to add a little bit of flavor, you can,
You could add stuff. Yeah,
grate
some cheese.
Yeah. So at this point, we
Go to the
put
stove.
a little bit of
Oil.
oil. Again,
Yeah.
some people might even
Here.